There we go. Well, hello, Jane. So grateful to have you here today. And for everyone who's listening, her real name is not Jane, but as you know, if you've listened to any of my videos or been in our world at all for any amount of time, we refer to all of our clients as Jane because privacy is one of the key components to our program that we hold very dearly. So welcome, Jane. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I've got a few questions here, Jane, that I just would like to go through with you. I'm so grateful that you're willing to share your experience inside the Anchored Abstinence Recipe program. So we'll just have a casual conversation about your experience and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yep.
Wonderful. So if you can share with me, Jane, where were you at in your journey before starting with us? What were you experiencing, emotionally, mentally, physically in regards to alcohol consumption? And what would you say was your biggest struggle?
So for me, when I came to the program, I was fairly defeated at that point. I was at a pretty low point. Working from home, I was always at home, and my alcohol consumption had, was regular every day, and it was more than I felt comfortable with. I was worried about my health. And I had been for quite a while, but I felt stuck, and it was just definitely stuck in the cycle, in that everyday cycle, and wanting to drink, and feeling crappy in the morning, and wanting to change, but not having the motivation to.
Yeah, motivation is really critical.
Yeah.
Absolutely too. That's right. But it's hard to hold on to that motivation, right? To conjure it up and then hold on to it throughout the course of your day. So what were some of your goals when you first started the program? What were you hoping to accomplish?
Well, they were big because I knew I needed to completely transform my life. I knew I needed to, do a 180. Because I was so low, because I was feeling so bad, my self-esteem was awful. When I dreamt of a better life, it was completely different than what I was actually in every day. Not going anywhere, just kind of, getting up, going to work, and then having a drink at night. And oftentimes it was the whole bottle, and having, crappy sleep. And it was just, never feeling good. Yeah.
Fantastic. And when you say, what you dreamt for yourself, what were you really hoping to get to? What was your idea?
Yeah, I wanted to live, I wanted to, enjoy the outside. I wanted to, enjoy time with my family, and remember it. I wanted to, you know, see people, and interact with people, and feel good about it. And I wanted to, bigger dreams, right? So, doing something for the house. The house is small, and we're all getting, taking up more space, and I couldn't, I couldn't even dream about moving, or I couldn't even dream about having renos, because our life was so, focused on drinking, and all of that was sucking the energy out of us. And so nothing was really ever getting done outside of, the regular stuff. So dishes and all of that got done, but even that was a huge chore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can appreciate that. And that's really common for a lot of women experiencing this kind of situation. Everything becomes too overwhelming or too big of a mountain to address. So you really just get to the point where you're in survival mode, right? Food, eat, sleep, go to work, type of thing. And that can be really isolating and not exactly what we want to get out of our life. So thank you for sharing that. So what are some of the things that you tried before coming to work with us?
So I had tried many things. I had tried doing it on my own, and it had some success, but with every time that I would start drinking again and then start drinking more again, that kind of chipped away at my confidence. I had tried other programs. I had actually been to rehab, and although I had learned from those programs, when I had done them or when I had gone, it never stuck. And so I would always go back to having a drink, and later on it would be, two drinks, and then, a couple of weeks would pass, and we'd have more. And we always kind of went back to our regular pattern of, drinking about a bottle of wine a night. And for a while that worked. I mean, it took the edge off. I got to do my stuff, but eventually I became less and less productive, and became more and more depressed.
Yeah, big important factor there. It does affect every other element of our living, and certainly our mood. So thank you for sharing that with us. So I'm sure you shopped around a little bit. What made you choose to work with the Anchored Abstinence Recipe? What made us fit for you?
What really got my attention was the focus on foods that we ate. It was really the focus on food and kind of rebuilding my health through nutrients. And that really caught my attention because I knew my body needed it. And also because there was a plan set out for me that I could follow, and that I knew that I could commit to following that plan. And so that was what made me choose this group, which I thought, that's what I'm going to do. This is what I need. And I was excited about seeing what the results would look like from nourishing my body.
Wonderful. And I'm sure that was quite different than what you actually expected. The outcome was quite different than what you expected going in, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So, what was the process like for you? What did you tap into the most out of the program? What did you gravitate towards? What did you find the most useful as you went through the program?
So what I found to be very useful, of course, were the menus, the weekly menus. Printed it out. I had the grocery list that was easy to follow, and that created like a routine aspect to the program for me. As well, I have to say that the weekly group calls were really great. I mean, that there's so much good information that's shared there, and there's really a sense of community and support. And I thought that was really very helpful, emotionally, I think, and having that support. And the one-on-one calls were really helpful to kind of hone in on the more independent or personal things that I needed to be looking at, and how to tweak the program. And so, I think it was a number of things, along with, the accountability. I remember the first time that you said, I want you to go outside. First hour of, that you've gotten up, you go outside for 10 minutes, and I want you to send me a picture and post it. And that was kind of quite a life-changing, because that was the push that I needed to get outside, because I wasn't going outside. And so things like that, like, it's hard to pick one thing that was the thing. I think a lot of the components of the program are helpful as a whole.
Wonderful. Yes, and we do operate as a whole individual, right? Alcohol, alcohol comes into our life in so many different ways, and shows up, and it really takes away from who we are on so many levels, our energy, our interest, our desire, our ability to do the things like just simply getting up and going outside in the morning,
Yeah.
right? So it is something that we do want to address in a very a holistic approach. So we have to really, and I know when I told you before you started the program that once you took alcohol out of your life, every single thing would change. Did you expect it to change as much or as on the level as it did?
Well, I think that, no, I don't think that I could foresee the amount of change. I think I had kind of an idea of what I wanted it to look like. I think what surprised me the most was the um, the support that I got from my family and my husband, and that that was incredible because it had never happened at this level, and um, and I can't even explain it. So it had never, he had never been so supportive and on so many levels, right? So it started with, committing, both of us committing to the program. Um, and because I needed, his buy-in to be able to, well, I mean, I didn't need it, but it was helpful to have it, and um, his buy-in to for the meals and the groceries and all of that, but also, it came into the exercise and, the house chores, and it just snowballed into, all of a sudden we're, committing to these renos that are huge, and being able to collaborate towards, negotiating what changes we want, and and all of those other things. So it really did snowball.
That's amazing. Such a positive effect, I'm sure that you weren't anticipating, but
Yes.
certainly a cornerstone to your success. And I know the program is set up so that anyone living in the same household as the woman that we're working with has a role if they so choose, right? And has a purpose and can contribute to her success. And I think just about every one of your family members were able to get on board with your success. And as a result, you all benefited. And that's fantastic. I absolutely love that. Congratulations for being the mama of the house that rocked it. That's pretty impressive. I absolutely love that. And how would you say, what was the biggest impact for you as a result of going through the program? What made all of the difference to you? If you had to kind of nail down one thing.
Well, I guess the one thing, it's that I don't crave alcohol anymore. I don't want to drink at all. It doesn't come up for me anymore, and it really does feel anchored this time around, which it never has ever before. And so it's nice to not struggle with it anymore.
That's amazing. I love it. And for context, do you mind sharing how many years you were kind of working through the problem prior to working with us?
Absolutely. Well, so it's been a long time, like I said, and it's been over 10 years. Through my life, like many, pretty much everybody else, we go through ups and downs and struggles. And for me, alcohol has been a coping mechanism that has worked, or that did work for a long time. And it all, I was very functional. I've always been very functional, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable. And I was always very worried about my health. And so there was always in the back of my mind, a desire to kind of rebalance that area of my life. And 10 years, was of working at it on my own and working at it with other programs, rehab, and it never really materialized into the life that I wanted until now. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm so thrilled for you. So what's next for you? You're speaking about some renos. What is Jane going to be taking on?
Oh my, well, we're packing up the house. We're having a fairly large reno done to the house so that we can make space for our two teenage kids. My daughter has started university this year, and she needs a little bit more space for herself. And we've adopted a new puppy, and so we're going to be, in the short term, we're going to be working together to raise him and to train him, I should say. And that's not always been easy when we weren't on the same page, and so the benefits of really kind of collaborating and being on the same page and is key to all of those projects.
Yeah, I love that. I love the long-term commitment to yourself. And what about your health in terms of maybe your physical or your mental health? What significant changes did you notice over the course of the program? If you don't mind sharing those details.
Not at all. Well, so for my physical health, just getting outside every day, I can't say how much that's changed everything. I sleep better, and it's nice to go out and regardless of the weather and spend time in nature and soak it in. It's good for the soul. For my mental health was really struggling at that last little bit. I had kind of bought into every mean thing that had ever been said, or and my self-esteem was quite low because I wasn't taking care of myself, and that has also been like a 180. I feel definitely more grounded. I feel more validated in my choices that have been more difficult, and my self-confidence has grown quite a bit. I used to struggle with social anxiety quite a bit, and I don't feel that as strongly at all anymore, and that's been quite the difference. So I felt definitely more grounded in myself.
I love that. It's such an awakening to really be able to tap into our authentic selves, right? Once we pull away the curtain and get rid of all the debris that's piled up on top of us for so long a period of time, and just to fall in love with ourselves all over again. It's a beautiful process, not a comfortable one necessarily at all points, but when we get there, it's a beautiful experience to be able to embrace. So thank you. I know that's been a challenging situation for you, and I'm so thrilled that you came on the other side of it. What do you think about the investment? Was it financially worth it for you to take part in this program?
Oh, hands down, it was absolutely. If I count all the money that I've spent on other programs and on therapy and on, it's not comparable, really. It is an investment, but I think that it's warranted in the sense that you do have to commit to it. You have to commit to participating and giving it your all. And I think that that's one way of really kind of absorbing that idea. And also, I think that, that money would have gone to drinking. I mean, it would have gone to destroying myself instead of building myself. And so it's worth the investment. And for me, that peace of mind that I don't even want to go back. I mean, that's not, you know, that it's hard to put a price tag on that for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Looking into the future, where do you think alcohol will be playing a role in your life down the road?
I don't know. You know, I'm okay with not having any right now, and I don't really want to go back. And so I'm not contemplating it right now, and I don't feel the need to either. Um, I can't say I'll never have a glass again. But for now, I'm happy for a long, you know, it's been a long time since I've been well and happy and content. And I don't really want to mess with that.
Fantastic, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I love that. What would you say to someone, another woman, who's thinking about joining the program?
Oh, go for it. For sure. It's, you know, the amount of information that is shared, if nothing else, is worth the investment. But that's not all you get. You don't just get all of the info. You get, you know, all of the support and the community, and you really do, you know, it is a lot of information. It can be overwhelming, but if you take it at your pace and you're forgiving with yourself in the things that you can't do, you know, even if you do it 50%, you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get what the worth is. And you just kind of keep chipping at it, right? Chipping away at it. I'd say it's so worth it. For me, it's been definitely a life-changing choice. And so, yeah, I'd say go for it.
Fantastic. Anything else, Jane, that you'd like to share that comes to mind about your experience?
Well, I think that I've said, but I'll emphasize it, you know, the peace of mind that I've gotten through this program from not struggling within myself to, you know, live differently, has been, you know, I will eternally be grateful for the program. I know that I'm the one that did the work, and I did do the work. I made the choice, and I made the investment, and I made the commitment, and I stuck to it. But stumbling upon that program in Facebook was the determining factor. I think that I would still be, you know, getting up, going to my computer, and then having a drink around 4, and then being my life. And now I don't even have to worry. You know, the kids can go wherever they want, and I know I'll be able to pick them up. You know, we don't even struggle with, you know, who's picking who up, or it's life-changing on so many levels, that I can't even imagine not stumbling across the program. Like, I don't even want to go there.
That's fantastic. And I know that you've chosen to remain an alumni member in the group, and I want to just extend my absolute gratitude for that, because, as you know, the women who come before us in these types of programs are amazing sources of resource for all of us, and certainly helps to pave the path for those of us that come afterwards, and make it that much better of a community. So thank you. I really appreciate all of your contributions, and thank you for being open and willing to share your experience here with us today. I know it's going to be very impactful for a lot of women viewing the program, this particular interview. So thank you.